Hey everybody, Jake LeBon back with you for our another installment of the Washburn Football Preview Series for 2022. The 22 season begins coming up in less than a week. That is right. With the Washburn Ichabods taking on the Lincoln Blue Tigers coming up September 1st of next week. It'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff from Yager Stadium, 5:30 pregame coverage on your home for Washburn Athletics, Country 106.9 on the FM dial, and My Country 106.9 on the web. So it should be a lot of fun. If you've missed any of our other videos, it's really simple, really easy. You can go to our website, www.newsnow.com. If you're on social media, you can follow us on Sports on 580, Facebook, as well as WWW News. This is the number 6. That's right, because we are 6 days away from the start of the 2022 season. Number 10 was handling expectations. Number 9 was winning one-score games. Number 8, special teams and who's going to be the punter. Number 7, the running back room. Feature running back plus who is going to be running back number 2. And that gets us to today with number 6. And it kind of coincides with number 7. It is the big boys up front. It is a restaurant manager's worst nightmare at an all-you-can-eat buffet. It is the offensive line, one of my favorite groups of any football team. They are the tightest knit group of anyone. And they probably have the most fun out of any position group. If you ever want to hang out with someone on a football team, I promise you the offensive line, they will have the most fun. They're going to joke the most. They're just a bunch of fun-loving people. Every single offensive line group seems to be the same year after year. But boy, this is a offensive line who should be pretty darn good. We talk about the MIAA being the toughest conference in Division II, and many of the reasons why are because of the trenches up front. You have to be good on the offensive line and the defensive line. It is not a secret. The best teams in the conference are good up front on the offensive line, keeping those really good defensive lines out of the backfield. Well, this year, the Washburn offensive line should be pretty darn good. They will be one of the most experienced groups in the MIAA. They returned 4 of 5 starters from a year ago. The lone starter who was not back was because he has graduated is Colton Dunkel. So he is gone, and he had a fantastic 4-year career. But the best part about this is Washburn's got depth this year at the offensive line. Left tackle and junior Andrew Funk, MIAA honorable mention, back at the left tackle spot. Left guard is going to be Bergen Hofer, who also was third-team all-conference in the MIAA last year. Right guard is going to be Washburn Rural product and junior Jacob Glendenning. Right tackle will be C.J. Murray. So you got 4 guys who are all back, and they're all juniors. That's another positive thing for this situation. Having those 4 offensive linemen back is so big. But they returned 3 other offensive linemen who saw action last year. The question is, what about the center spot? Well, that helps out. Mason Hone last year, he's a junior as well, got some time in at center because of an injury to Colton Dunkel. So you have junior center Mason Hone, who has experience. So there was a time last year that all of these 5 played together at the same time. Throw in Mason Fair, who's also a junior at one of the tackle spots. Also Andrew Husfeld at left guard, saw action last year as a freshman. So this offensive line has got some depth, and they returned some starters. But there's still a couple other guys who might see action. This is a group who could be 8 to 9 offensive linemen people deep, which is so big in the MIAA. You can withstand an injury or 2. That is a huge, huge situation. Now, can you keep the quarterback upright? That is a big thing. Pass pro was pretty good last year. They allowed just 21 sacks, which was right in the middle of the conference, but they were 1 sack away from being in the upper tier. So that's how close it is when you get that when you get to the upper tier. So the pass pro was pretty good last year. Can they improve? More reps, get a little bit bigger, get a little bit stronger. The Ichabods, though, will never lead the league in basically any category because head coach Craig Schurig likes to be balanced. We know Kearney runs the football almost every down. They're going to end up leading the league in rushing. We know that Central Missouri is going to throw the ball almost every down, so they're probably going to lead the league in passing. Washburn will not be up at the top when it comes to that, and the offensive line is a good job of being balanced. Last year, Washburn was 4th in scoring. That's what matters. pretty good on the running side of things, pretty good on the passing side of things. That's what this offensive line is able to do. They scored in the 30s, and if you score in the 30s, that means your offensive line is doing its job. Now, this group has a chance to be one of the better offensive lineman groups that Washburn has had in quite some time when you have this many returning starters and this much depth. The best part about having a veteran offensive line is the quarterback. We know Mitch Schurig gone. New quarterback coming in. We'll get to the quarterback position coming up a little bit later in this video series. But having a new quarterback, the best friend for a new quarterback is a veteran offensive line. And this is an offensive line group that will be the best friend for the new quarterback for the Washburn Ichabod. So huge news that Washburn returns 8 to 9 players on that offensive line. And this can be one of the best offensive line that Washburn has had in quite some time. I think this group can do that. Coming up tomorrow for this preview series, we will be 5 days away from game day. That means it is game preparation for Craig Schurig and the Ichabods. And we're going to go with, I think, the second most important position in football. Kind of coincides with the offensive line. We'll get to that coming up tomorrow here on this Washburn football preview series leading into the 2022 season opener.